Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and love to everyone. How is everybody doing? How is everyone? Glad to see you all again. Wait for more people to come into the live. I have some very valuable information for you. Peace and love to everybody. I see one person here so far. Just gonna wait till more people come in. Marcus, what's up? What's up? What's up, Marcus? How are you, sir? Marcus, you never fail. What's up? What's up, man? What's up, Joseph? Good to see you, man. Hey, Joseph, we're gonna get together, man. We're gonna get together, brother. Hey, Tony, this Dave. Thank you again. Yeah, Dave. Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you too, Dave. Dave, it is so good to see you, man. I had a good consultation with you, brother. Thank you very, very much for your support, brother. You are my brother. We are brothers and sisters here on this channel. And I really appreciate it. You said the NBA just started tonight, so I mean the NBA probably won't get a lot of people on tonight. Well, maybe, maybe not. I don't expect a lot. So, but you can always watch the video after the live. You know what I'm saying? So that is most important. Yeah, they said Razor Ray said he was going to heading to Italy. That's going to be very interesting. That's going to be very interesting. I'd like to see some of his content from Italy. What's happening, everybody? What is going on? Yeah, we got some very important things to talk about today about the situation in Venezuela and the situation in Colombia. Things are not going well at all. And first of all, I just want to say that I don't mean to be negative. I don't mean to be, pessimistic or anything like that. But I am watching this situation over there very carefully. You know what I'm saying? And there are some really great concerns. I mean, I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything like that, but there are some things that are happening over there that's happening now that really got me just a bit concerned. Let me see. Who is this? This is Alicia Daza. You need some milk. Oh, wow. Well, I'm drinking here. I got this. So I'm straight. But thank you. Yes, Colombia and Venezuela are very close. And Castavo Petro said today that we are together. We are brothers. So I just hope and pray that things will not go as bad as I think they're going to go. And I'm going to give you scenarios where I think that probably is going to happen. I hope it doesn't. What's up, Boca Chica? What's up? What's up? Hey, everybody, do a favor for me. If this is your first time on my channel, hit that like button and subscribe, please. God bless, Army. How you doing? How you doing, brother? How you doing? I am very concerned right now about what's happening between Venezuela and the U.S. right now. Okay. Well, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. I got it right here for you guys. Okay. What happened was President Trump called Colombia president an illegal drug leader. That's what he called Castavo Petro on Sunday to end the U.S. aid to South American country following the leader's criticism of U.S. strikes on alleged drug boats in the Caribbean. This is very, very serious because so far, 7 boats has been attacked in the Caribbean. Okay? Mr. Trump accused Colombian President Castavo Petro in the post on Truth Social of encouraging a massive production of drugs in big and small fields. Truth Social, he said, has become the biggest business in Colombia by far. Petro does nothing to stop it despite of large-scale payments and subsidies from the U.S. So the U.S. has been giving Colombia subsidies and money. So what happened is now Trump is cutting out aid to Colombia. He said, forget it, I'm not giving you nothing. You say, why don't I just go bald? No, I don't look right bald. Don't worry, it'll grow back. I'm getting some stuff to grow it back. It'll grow back. It'll grow back. Yeah. There are more than 25,000 Colombians that was deported as of 225. Yeah, there have been a lot of Colombians deported. But Trump is saying that the money that we've been sending down there is a big ripoff. But Petro accused the U.S. in a series of hitting fishing boat vessels in a strike carried out last month. So Castavo Petro has been saying that a lot of these strikes has been fishing boats. Because he's been very vocal about this. But as of Sunday, there have been 7 vessels that have been destroyed. What's up, Process Journey? How you doing? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, Process Journey? Salute to you, sir. Salute to you. So what worries me is that the situation down there is not getting any better. Matter of fact, I heard within maybe a week or so that the U.S. may strike Venezuela. Anton Trump 2028. Yeah, you can say that again. I don't think he's going anywhere. It looks like it. I don't think Trump is going anywhere. I think he's going to stay in office. Hopefully Colombia can stand with its own 2 feet. But we will see. I think it will be a little better when Colombia gets a new president next summer. I don't know if you like Castavo Petro or anything like that, but he has been very vocal about the strikes on the U.S. vessels. Because, let me tell you this, if the war does start, if there's an invasion of Venezuela, Colombia will be pulled into this war. Let me see, Anton. So I can find it. Let me see. Hey, I was finally able to taste cat, please. Man, there's a lot of trolls on this live tonight. Speaking of that, I thought we was going to get rid of Petro anyway. I don't know. I don't get into the politics of anything like that, but he's been very vocal against the attacks on the vessels. You know what I'm saying? You say you have a new channel coming out on your street walking video in Lima. Okay, yeah. I want to see that. I'll be on your channel. Don't worry, I'm gonna go back to probably next week or so using StreamYard. But for some reason, the way I'm doing the lives now is very good on the algorithm. I don't know why, but YouTube has been really promoting these videos, and I'm getting a lot more watch time hours too. You know what I'm saying? But the problem I have with the boat attacks is that everyone should be entitled to due process, because some of those vessels had civilians on them and people that wasn't, doing anything illegal. That's the problem that I have with the attacks on the vessels. Because even some of the most worst criminals that we ever saw still had due process. You know what I'm saying? You should have your time in a court of law. I got something I want you guys to listen to. This is General David. I want you to listen to what he says. Oh man, come on. Just 1 second here. Let me see if I can pull him up. Okay, I want you to listen to this guy. His name is Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis. And he gives his, opinion of what he thinks about the strikes that's happened in the Caribbean.
The U.S. military continues to target suspected drug smuggling vessels near Venezuela. President Trump just released brand new video of Thursday's strike on that alleged narcotics smuggling submersible. It marked the 6th known attack on cartels by the Trump administration. It also was the first time that U.S. forces captured 2 survivors of a strike. They will now be sent to their home countries, Ecuador and Colombia. Let's bring in retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis. Colonel Davis, do you quibble with the president's notion that this was likely a drug smuggling submarine?
No, I don't quibble with that at all. If that's what the president said, I can't imagine any other submarine rolling around in the Caribbean Sea on a pleasure cruise. So I feel pretty confident it was. And as a matter of fact, there's some video out there that you can find if you want to Google that we've actually captured some of these in the past. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency personnel. So this is hardly unusual. That's not the problem, and it's not even a quibble per se. The real question I think we need to ask with all of these is primarily, what is the attainable military objective?
That's what I'm talking about. What is the objective? By you doing this, by you knocking these boats off, what is your primary objective? Because there are drugs coming in from a whole lot of other countries that's coming into the U.S. I hear you, Anton, you say you have no sympathy for them, okay?
Supposed to accomplish, and what is the political objective that you want these military actions to prevent or produce for the United States? And in that, what's being said is, well, of course, to reduce fentanyl and reduce drugs come into the United States. And that is a great goal, one which I'm highly supportive of. But the question is this going to actually impact that operation there? And I think that the evidence, when you look at it, is it will have almost no impact. We don't even know if any of those boats were actually coming to the United States at all. The boats themselves didn't have the capacity to reach the U.S. and we're told, well, it will be onward movement elsewhere that may have come in. But when you look at the landscape here, John, this is important. I mean, you've got China, India, Mexico, Ecuador, Colombia, way more orders of magnitude more drugs coming from those places. And you'd gotta wonder, why would we be centering on Venezuela or in the waters off of Venezuela? I don't think this is going to help the objective.
I don't think it's going to help the objective either. Because you got drugs coming in from so many different places and so many different countries. Why attack that area only? Okay? Why attack that area only when you have drugs coming from all these other places? Let me see, process. They do not like us, but it's not many blacks in Peru at all. Also, just a few black Peruvians in the tourist area, but it was Lima, a city. Yeah, I believe you, process. I believe you. I believe you. I believe that they do like us, but they do like us, but there's not that many blacks there. And I know somebody else that went there too, and they said the same thing. But I want to finish this off right quick.
Well, doesn't a strike, though, on any nation's, I mean, not that these are, national smuggling operations, but any nation's boat, doesn't that make drug smugglers in other countries think twice about loading up with fentanyl and sending the submersible out?
When you're talking about the billions and billions of dollars that are in this illicit activity, they will find a way around it. I mean, look, these governments have been going after these anti-drug situations for years. So that's like built into their model. So no, I don't think that this will have any deterrent effect because they already expect it. And then as we always see in any of these, whether you're talking about situations like when we were fighting in Iraq or Afghanistan or any of these other war on drugs in the past, as soon as you start hitting them in one place, they'll find another way to go through. As long as there's a demand in the U.S., you're going to have people that are going to be willing to take the risk of life and limb to get it there. And these are such small pinprick attacks, they're not going to have any impact. I mean, that's just the truth of it.
Absolutely.
All right, well, I want to let President Trump defend himself against some of what you had to say there in a Truth Social post that he just put out not too long ago. He writes, "It was my great honor to destroy a very large drug-carrying submarine that was navigating toward the United States on a well-known narco-trafficking transit route. U.S. intelligence confirmed this vessel was loaded up with mostly fentanyl and other illegal narcotics." So he goes on to say there were 4 known narco-terrorists on board the vessel. 2 of the terrorists were killed. At least 25,000 Americans would die if I allowed this submarine to come ashore. So, well, and then he says the 2 surviving terrorists are being returned to their countries of origin, Ecuador and Colombia, for detention and prosecution. No U.S. forces were harmed in this strike. If he's right about that, if 25,000 Americans could have died from the fentanyl on board this boat, isn't it worth it to take it out?
Well, yeah, number one, if there's anything I would challenge, it's the claim that 25,000 people would die because of that one boat. I'm not sure that there's a lot of justification or substantiation of that. But the boat itself, by all means, if that was coming to the U.S., it's a legitimate target, but it matters how you do it. And like I said, there's
absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. It's the way how you do it. Always remember this. Everybody has due process. And I believe in the war on drugs. I do. I support it 100%, but it's the way how you're doing it. Everybody should have due process. Everybody. Jeffrey Dahmer, one of the worst menace ever. He had due process. Timothy McVeigh, look what he did. He had due process. Because it's just like, let's say, I'm a drug dealer, okay? Let's say if I was one. I'm getting ready to deliver something on the west side. The police has intelligence of what I'm getting ready to do. While I'm getting ready to make the delivery, can the police just come and just unalive me based on what I was getting ready to do? I have no problem with the war on drugs, but it's the way how the war on drugs is being done. That's all I'm saying. And Castavo Petro is out there saying that there's innocent people are becoming unalive because of this. Let's see. Okay, he said, also 2 years ago, I was watching a video about, but there's a foreigners who had been living there who wasn't even Peruvian. And the skin color was a problem. Also, Venezuela annexed a territory of land owned by Guyana 2 years ago, where a bunch of Guyana. Right. I'm not, you know what? I'm not saying that Maduro is right. I'm not saying things that that I support him or I don't. I don't support Maduro or support. I don't even know who he is. But unaliving people on those vessels, especially when you don't even know who they are, I think that's the wrong way of going about it. It's just my opinion, because there have been civilians that has been unalived, fishermen that has been unalived.
Out there where we take these boats and listen, even these ones that we're hitting with missiles, there's no known justification. There's no authorization for military force. You can't just go and kill people, even if you don't like what they're doing.
Absolutely. You just can't kill people just because you don't like what they're doing. Because there have been civilians that have been unalived. Yeah, hey, what's up? What's up, T? What's up? What's happening? Hey, good. Hey, guys, make sure y'all like, this video, man. There's like over, let me see, 15 people in this live. Right, you can't kill people for no reason. That's what I'm talking about. Because you could be breaking the law, international law, when you do stuff like that. You can't just, like I said, you just can't. I mean, even though I may have the intentions to deliver narcotics, whatever, according to law, I still have due process. The Constitution gives me that right of due process. You know what I'm saying? Now, if the Coast Guard or the military was in harm's way, they, tried to unalive them, then you should be able to defend yourself. Right? You just can't unalive people for no reason. Absolutely. Let me see. Peru is a good country for adventures and food, but honestly, there's not a city that I would want to live in because of the weather or the high elevation, but good for vacation. That's good. That's good, Chris. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself in Peru. And they are doing it in international waters, not in U.S. Right, that's what I'm saying. Right, they're doing it in international waters. What gives you the authority to do that? That's what I'm saying. And it's really bad. It's really bad. And I'm going to tell you this. This is the part that I wanted to get into to tell you guys. If a war breaks out between Venezuela and Colombia, if the U.S. goes in and invades Venezuela, they are going to cancel flights and they're going to completely just have no planes coming in to Colombia as far as visitors or tourism. They're going to shut that airspace down. And then I'm going to tell you something. Colombia is going to help Venezuela fight. They're brothers and sisters. And I hope, I hope that this doesn't happen. I really hope this doesn't. I hope that they find peace, because I don't like war. I don't like anybody getting hurt or unalive. But I'm going to tell you something, my scenario about what I think will happen if they go to war. We will never be able to go to that country ever again. Let's see. If they're doing it yeah, I just read that. Yeah, Chris, it's like Bogota because of the elevations and the altitude sickness. Yeah. That's something that Bogota and Peru have in common, especially if you're in Mucho, Peru. Absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
There are rules that allow you to seize these people, and that's even better because then that gives you the chance to have intelligence where you find out who they are, where they came from. You can interrogate them to find out where the situations are, so you can go back and actually stop the source of it, not
Absolutely.
just these pinprick one-off attacks here. So even in that, this is not the most effective way to actually keep our country safe. And again, I am all for keeping our country safe from all these illegal drugs. I think it's terrible.
Right. I agree with him 100%. I agree with him 100%. And we have another problem. We have another problem in this country. Everybody, well, not everybody, but there's a lot of people in this country that likes to get high. We have a drug problem in this country. Just think about this. If everybody in this country stopped using drugs, period, just stop, we'll put them out of business. Because the only reason why they bring this stuff over here because there's a demand for it over here. It comes after a strike Thursday on a vessel in the Caribbean Sea, the sixth known attack in the area since last month. And the first which survivors were reported. There were survivors on some of those attacks, guys. Mr. Trump has said that two survivors, one from Ecuador, and the other was from Colombia, will be returned to their countries of origin. There were two survivors on the last attack. Two survivors. But this is how things is getting even bad between Castavo Petro and Trump. Mr. Trump said in his post Sunday that the U.S. would no longer offer payments and subsidies to Colombia, claiming that the country's drug production is intended for sale of massive amounts of products into the U.S., causing death, destruction, and havoc. He said that Castavo Petro is low-rated and very unpopular leader with a fresh mouth towards America. Better close up these killing fields immediately, or the United States will close them up for him. And it won't be done nicely, the president said. Wow. This is serious, guys. This is very, very, very serious. Because you know what, in Colombia, they already don't like us anyway. That much, really. But if this war breaks out, they're going to hate us even more. I know you probably said, well, why you keep talking about them? Because there are so many other places to go. But I have family down there. I have people that I love is in Colombia right now. I got people who I talk to every single day. And it would be very devastating if I'm not able to travel back down there and see my people. Petro pushed back on Trump. Allegations on X arguing that he has been a primary fault of drug trafficking in his country in recent years. Petro later said there has been a rude and ignorant towards Colombia. Trump has been rude and ignorant. They do not like each other. And I am so sorry about this is happening. I really am. It's really sad. The Trump administration also said Colombia is a list of countries it deems of failing to uphold responsibilities to control drug trafficking for the first time almost in 3 decades. Wow. The department said that under Petro leadership, coca cultivation, cocaine production have reached record highs, while Colombian government failed to meet even its own vast reduced cocoa eradication goals. Wow. This is crazy, man. Let's see recently. Let's see. It's about stealing, yep, and the rare earth minerals in Venezuela. And Colombia is a U.S. government to fight against drug lords who live in Miami and New York. Absolutely. I can agree with that. The best thing to do is to look for other countries to visit. Peru has issues going on. They got rid of their president right after I left. Wow. Wow. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm going to tell you this. If the U.S. attacks Venezuela, it's going to be nasty. It's going to abrupt the whole entire Caribbean. It's not going to be well. It's not going to be good. I know what you're saying, Chris, that we should look for other countries. But my goal really was to retire down there in Colombia, in Medellin. I love that country. I love that city. It's like it fits me like a glove. It just fits. I mean, I love the food. I love the people. I love the climate. You know, and plus I have a friend down there. And you guys met her. You know what I'm saying? It would be devastating not to be able to go down there and visit her anymore. But Petro is the first leftist elected president of Colombia, you know. And in decades, he has clashed with Trump administration in recent weeks. In addition to his criticism on social media, he denounced the strikes alleged drug boats in the speech in the United Nations last month. He talked about this in the United Nations. And they also revoked his visa, so he's not allowed to come and visit in the United States anymore. They revoked his visa. But the strikes on the alleged drug smuggling boats, this has created a lot of backlash, man. From neighbor Venezuela, which accused Trump administration of aggression. They're accusing him of aggression. And the administration has accused President Nicolas Maduro for working with drug cartels, which he has denied. You said Colombia is a special. It is a special place. Colombia is a very special place. I love that country very much, man. I love Cookie very much. I love my friends very much. And make sure y'all hit that like button for me, man. There's a whole bunch of y'all in there. Please do it, man. It will help the algorithm so much. Please do that. I really would appreciate it. Let me see. Starboy, welcome, man. Make sure you hit my subscribe to my channel. If this is your first time on this live, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Okay, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, man. I would definitely appreciate it. Thank you. He said he was just in New York, in the U.S., in NYC with the Middle Easterns or the Pakistanis. Yeah. But guys, it's not getting any better.
Today's my 41st birthday, and for the last 29 years, I've been talking to my dad about...
I don't know, guys. It's not looking good, man. It's just not looking good. You said a lot of Venezuelans and Colombians would like to go back to Venezuela if Maduro was ousted. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not I don't like Maduro or I dislike Maduro. But the thing you have to understand, Venezuela is a sovereign country. Yeah, they beat the Buccaneers. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, the Lions beat the Buccaneers. Yes. Yes. Yes, thank you, sir. Yes, yes, yes. We did win against the Buccaneers. So we still in there, Jay. What's up, Jay? How you doing, sir? Just getting a lot of bad news coming out of Venezuela right now. But I'm gonna tell you, if this happens, man, if war happens, you can kiss Colombia goodbye because they're gonna help them fight. They are. It's just like, let's say if, let me give you an example. Let's say that you're my brother, right? You're my brother. And you got beef with somebody. Somebody has beef with you, right? And then I'm looking outside and you got a bunch of people that you have beef with is trying to beat you, is beating you up. If I'm your brother, am I going to sit there and just watch and watch you get beat? No, I'm going to jump in the fight to help protect you. See, I wanted to see, you say you wanted to see the Jake Paul and Tyson. You know what, Chris? Yeah, I seen that. There's so much more I want to say on this live, but I can't say. But I'm going to be honest with you. It's not what you think. It's not what you think, brother. It's not what you think. I can't, there's a lot I can't say on this live. I have to keep my mouth shut. But, Chris, it's not what you think. It's not. And I know exactly what's going on. Matter of fact, I knew what was going on even before all this happened. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I've been talking about, Jay, is that this situation is really heating up. And if a war breaks out between Colombia and Venezuela, we ain't going down there anymore. Your trip to Colombia, you can forget it. It'll be over. They will shut the whole entire airspace down. There will be no commercial flights coming back and forth to Colombia from Miami. And it will be years before you see your girlfriend or your fiance or whoever it is that you're close to down there. That would be devastating for me. It would be because it's like my second home. Let me see if I got anything else. Yeah, things are really getting bad because the U.S. is slashing assistance to Colombia and tariffs exports because the country leader, Castavo Petro, does nothing to stop the drug production. That's what Mr. Trump is saying. President Trump said Sunday, escalating the friction between Washington and one of his closest allies in Latin America. Colombia was one of the closest allies in Latin America. Trump even went as far as calling Petro an illegal drug dealer who is low rated and very unpopular. Wow. They do not like each other, man. That is sad. He called Castavo Petro a lunatic president so that he would announce new tariffs on Monday. So they're going to put more tariffs on Colombia. You said, I hope Colombia does not get into the war, but if so, I'm heading back to my favorite country, Thailand. I hope it don't be a war either, man. I hope it doesn't be a war either. Because I'm telling you, if Venezuela is attacked, Colombia is going to it's going to be pulled into the war. And not only that, you're going to have a humanitarian crisis that you have thousands of people crossing over the border to Colombia to escape the war if that happens. We're talking about thousands of people. And there will be a big mess down there. I know the reason behind the war, but there's certain things on this live I just cannot say. I know the reason for the war. I know exactly what's going on. I just hope that they just don't go to war. Because I'm going to tell you something. If they go to war, if they go to war and there's casualties of American forces unaliving Venezuelans and Colombians, they are going to hate you even more. And you won't be able to go back down there. And like I said, man, I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything. I hope that it doesn't go this far. I hope it doesn't go this far. But Petro, he can be very vocal, and he's rejected Trump accusations, defending his work on the fight against narcotics in Colombia, the world's largest exporter of cocaine. It's a lot more, Marcus. It's a lot more. I can't tell you on this live exactly what's going on, but it's I know exactly what's going on. Man, the battle between both countries with the yellow, blue, and red flag. Yeah, because Colombia will be pulled into that war. They will be pulled into it. Yeah, he's been very yeah. You're right, Petro on Trump at the UN. Yeah, he's been very vocal, and I do agree with him about the vessels being attacked. I do because they could be innocent people on those boats. You can't really see exactly who's on. It could be people that probably don't even know that boat is a drug boat. You see what I'm saying? But everybody should have due process. That's all. That's why I'm against the vessels being attacked. Even Ron Paul talked about it. Senator Ron Paul. I think it's Ron Paul. Is it Ron Paul? He's a Republican. No, his name is Rand Paul. I think that's his name. He's been talking about that. That you don't know the name of the people. You know what I'm saying? You deny them due process. You made yourself judge, jury, and executioner. Yeah, Rand Paul. Right, that's his name. Right, Rand Paul. Yeah, he's been vocal against the way how they hitting those truck boats. Can Ecuador? I'm not for sure about Ecuador. I'm not for sure. But if a war happens down there, it's going to turn the whole Caribbean upside down. If there's a full-fledged war between Venezuela and Americans, American forces, you can kiss Colombia goodbye. And that would be very sad. I saw advice on fentanyl. The biggest supplier is China, who makes it, and Mexico export it on the U.S. You know the problem is, you know the problem with this war on drugs, and a lot of people are not going to agree with me. I think we are the problem. There's too many people here that uses drugs. Let me tell you this. We used to have, there was a movie back in the day. This is old school, I'm telling y'all. The name of it was called Scared Straight. Hold on for a minute, I'm going to get something to drink. Hold on. I'm going to tell y'all about this show. All right, I'm back. There used to be a show. This is back in the 80s, probably before some of y'all were born. And the name of it was called Scared Straight. It's called Scared Straight. And on this show, they used to go to the high schools, okay? Yeah, it was a jail program, right? Marcus, you know everything. I was watching something that said 6% of the U.S. GDP is illegal drug. Absolutely. Okay. And what they used to do is they used to bring sixth graders, seventh graders, eighth graders, people from junior high schools, from high schools, and they used to bring them into real prison with real criminals. And they used to walk through the jail, and they used to tell, and one of the people they used to take these students through this jail was an actual real criminal that's trying to stir young people away from crime. See, this is what happened to you if you break the law. This is where you will end up if you break the law. You'll be behind bars with these harsh criminals. And they talk about the things that they do to you here in prison and things like that. You know, they put the, but when I watched that movie, that changed me. That's, well, not a movie, I'm sorry, that show. It's like, wow, I don't ever want to go to prison or go to jail. I love my freedom. I love to be able to walk outside when I want to go when I want to go. When you are incarcerated, all that has been taken away from you. And they instilled this into the young people. They instilled this into the younger people. Why can't they do the same thing about drugs? I don't see no revivals happening in this country about staying away from drugs. If you convince maybe half the population to stay away from it, you'll put the cartel them out of business because they have no need for your product anymore. And to me, blowing up boats is not going to stop the problem. Because like he just said on here, they're going to find other ways to get around it to bring these drugs into this country. Yeah, he said bringing them in jail, criminals make them cry. Yeah, make them scared. Yep. Yep, the criminals will get into their face. I saw that, and that changed my life. You said, I think the prison was Rye House State Prison in the yeah. Yeah, it was the 1980s, yeah. Because I graduated from high school in 1982. And I remember the show called Scared Straight. See, some people do drugs to cope with pain. Well, there's other alternatives, there's other help. Yeah, Nancy Reagan even did try, at least she tried to do something. But it's a multi-billion-dollar business. It's a big business. And don't get me wrong, I'm for keeping this country safe. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problem going after those vessels, those boats, if that's what he's trying to do. But it's the way how he's doing it.
These illegal drugs, I think it's terrible.
That's why you put on the uniform. We know. We appreciate it. Thanks, Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis.
Good morning.
Let's see here.
The U.S. military continues to target suspected drug smuggling vessels near Venezuela. President Trump just released brand new video of Thursday's strike on that alleged narcotics smuggling submersible. It marked the 6th known attack on cartels by the Trump administration. It also was the first time that U.S. forces captured 2 survivors of a strike.
Well, the thing, like Marcus, the thing, whatever people do, let them do it. You got to know what they do, where they stand, let people do their thing. I think it should be more, I think that it should be more help available for people to get off the drugs. I don't don't see very much of that here. It's like you're on your own. And more harsh penalties for people who sell it. Did you know in Singapore, if they catch you, they have the most harshest punishment for drugs in Singapore. You do not want to get caught with drugs in Singapore. You automatically get the death penalty in Singapore. I'm not saying a person should get the death penalty, because they got caught with drugs. But they're very, some of those Asian countries, like China, like Singapore, they don't have that problem down there. Eric, what's up? Eric is here. What's up, Eric? Brother, it's so good to see you, brother. How are you, sir? Salute. Somebody said I should cut my hair and get bald. Believe it or not, I tried that before, but I didn't look very well. But there's some medication I'm going to get. I've been through a lot. I told you guys about the cancer and all that type of stuff, and all my hair was like breaking out, falling out. So I'm trying to come back, man. I'm coming back. So this will be taken care of. Okay. Go Lions. Yes, go Lions. Go Lions. They beat the Buccaneers. Yes. Yes, they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Booker T said, oh boy, got canned in Singapore in the 90s. Yeah, things have changed. Booker T, things have changed in Singapore now. Even if they catch you with recreational drugs, automatic death penalty. They're very strict on drugs in Singapore. You don't even necessarily have to sell it. If they just catch you with it, it's automatically capital punishment. I'm not saying it should be that bad here, but we do have a problem with drugs in this country. We do. It's always been a big problem. But I don't see enough going. I don't see enough happening here to fight against it. Me personally, I don't see it. Eric, it's so good to see you, brother. But is there more to the story? Absolutely. It's a whole lot more to the story, but I can't talk about it. Yeah, in 94, he sprayed a painted car in Singapore. Yeah, he was caned. They have caning down there. Yep, they sure did. They sure did. Yep, they cane. It's called caning. I think what they do is they hang you, they hang you up like this. They take your shirt off, and they take a cane and they swipe you in the back. Yeah, I remember that. In 1994. Yeah, Booker T. I remember that guy when that happened. And they hit him so much that he passed out. But he survived, though.
They will now be sent to their home countries, Ecuador and Colombia. Let's bring in retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis. Colonel Davis, do you quibble with the president's notion that this was likely a drug smuggling submarine?
No, I don't. I don't quibble with that at all. If that's what the president said, I can't imagine any other submarine rolling around in the Caribbean Sea on a pleasure cruise. So I feel pretty confident it was. And as a matter of fact, there's some video out there that you can find if you want to Google that we've actually captured some of these in the past. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency personnel. So this is hardly unusual. That's not the problem, and it's not even a quibble per se. The real.
You know what? I would love to go to Brazil. Yeah, I know it's Africa, but let me tell y'all this. Okay, let me tell y'all this. Hold on for a second. I know some of y'all been trying to get me to go to Thailand. Some of y'all been trying to get me to go to the Dominican Republic. And some of y'all been trying to get me to go to Brazil. Okay. The reason why I don't travel that far to Thailand or to Brazil, I do have a job here in Michigan. And the only way that I can travel unless I put in vacation time. If you're going to Brazil, you at least have to be there at least a month. If you go to Thailand, you at least have to be there 3 to 4 weeks. My job barely gives me 2 weeks. By the time I get to Thailand or Brazil, it'll be time for me to come back. Maybe during retirement, I will be able to hit these other spots. You said, my colleague is from Brazil, sadly married, but very nice, helpful as a coworker. Oh, that's nice, Jay. I'm definitely holding off traveling to America until things calm down. Yeah, I will wait till things calm down. Yeah, I will not advise anybody to go to Colombia right now. But let me see. Smooth life. You said I did Brazil for 2 weeks and it changed my life. I believe you, Smooth Life. I believe you. Brazil's on my bucket list. But you know what though? Let me tell you this. I've been going to Colombia since 2018 to now. Okay. And I just came back. I was there 2 weeks ago. I was just there 2 weeks ago. Let me tell y'all this. When I tell you that they treat me good, they treat me good. Those chicas down there, they treat me like a king. At that resort, man, everything is at my fingertips. ATMs, grocery stores, other stores, restaurants, everything. I don't have to ask for nothing. I'm like snug as a bug in the rug. That's an old school saying. I'm snug as a bug in the rug. And it's just hard for me to break that comfort zone. I think the weather there is just perfect. It's perfect. Not too hot, not too cold. The air I breathe, very clean. Chicas at my fingertip. Food at my fingertip. All you have to do is pick up the phone and say, I want chopped watermelons to my room. Within 10 minutes, they're up there with a tray of watermelon. I mean, it's just hard to give it up. I know that I do need to visit some of these other countries. I do agree with you guys to open up my horizons a little bit. But I'm so happy there. Yeah, you say you may try the Philippines because I've been, never been. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I believe that, you know what? I believe these places are great, but let me tell you this. But one thing, you guys are right. One thing you guys is right. If the war does break out down there, then I will have to find another place to go. And probably I would probably end up going to Brazil. That's the next place to Colombia. I heard they got beautiful women down in Brazil too, just like they have them in Colombia. He said my top five countries would be Brazil, the Philippines, Dominican Republic, and two figuring out the two others. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been seeing videos of chicas in the Dominican Republic. I'm not all that impressed. I'm not all that impressed. I mean, there's some, but to me, I don't know. Those Colombian chicas, they just look so well. They're so well polished. They're very, extremely well polished. You will never see them leave out of the house or whatever, not having themselves together. I mean, I just love them. They're just beautiful, and they just treat me so good. They treat me so nice. And you know another thing I like to do. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm just tell y'all this, but Cookie had that long, straight black hair all the way down to her back. The silk black hair that went all the way down to her lower back. Sometimes I just sit there, I just play with her hair, just feel the texture of that hair. I mean, it just, I don't know what it is. It's just, let me see, Philadelphia, six, the big five are Colombia, Thailand, Dominican Republic, Brazil, Kenya. Don't forget the Philippines. I believe the Philippines, yeah. Yeah, Booker T. Booker T knows what I'm talking. It's just a lot of beauty, and like I said, you got the Costeños in Cartagena and in Barranquilla. Those are mulattoes. They got that like that buttermilk complexion with the curly hair. Those are Costeños, okay. And then you got the Chocos, which is the Afrocentric girls with the, they dark complexion, but they're very beautiful. And then when you go down to Antioquia and to Medellin, you have the Paisas, snow bunnies. And then in Cali, you got the Cali curves. I mean, you got so many different categories to choose from. If you like women with nice curves, then you go to Cali. Cali is known for women with very nice curves. He says sometimes, James, what's up, James? How you doing? Let me see. I got 11 likes. Make sure y'all subscribe to my channel too. James, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. You always welcome here. No, I'm just no, Marcus. No, Marcus, why you get so off? No. I'm talking about see, that's why I said on my last two my video after last that I wasn't gonna tell anybody about my experiences and my relationships with chicas in Colombia because my last visit I posted some videos and I got a lot of hate because people don't understand because people never been down there. Marcus, you have to go down there and experience it. I've been down there several times. And it's a different experience. It's a very different experience once you've been there. So no, I'm not into the looks, not just the looks, but those girls are very attractive. Those chicos, I'm just amazed on how far they go to maintain their appearance. That's what I'm saying. And not only that, they are extremely, extremely feminine. They are very feminine. I love feminine females. I told you already, yeah. You said, Booker T, you say, I always go to a few sleeper spots in Colombia that I enjoy going to, but I ain't one of the spot. Yeah, yeah, same here. I got my own spot where I go, the resort, I call it. And man, they take good care of me, man. Matter of fact, the last time I was there a couple of weeks ago, when I got out of the cab, they ran to me, dude. I like grabbed them like this. They said, "Oh, Tony, Tony, we miss you. Where you been? Good to see you, man. We love you, man." They gave me love when I first got there. That feels good. I felt like I meant something to them. The guy, he just grabbed my baggage. Said, "Here, let me take you to your room." They take me to my room. They said, "Can we get you something to eat? Can we do this?" I mean, I'm being treated like a king. Why should I give that up? How often you go anywhere here in the States and be treated like a king? Where? Where people just ignore you. It's like you are invisible here. You only live once. Oh, I always tip them, man. I always tip them, man. Always. Yeah, I'm having flashbacks, man. Actually, I came back here. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've been so depressed sometimes. Sometimes I get so depressed, man. Yesterday, I'm gonna be honest with you. I started crying yesterday. I started to cry because I was so depressed. What do you mean by being hypocritical? I'm not being hypocritical. I'm telling you the truth. I'm gonna always tell you the truth on this channel, brother. I don't hypocrite at all. Everybody on this channel know I don't hypocrite. How's that hypocritical? I'm telling you the truth. You get treated like crap here. You do. I'm not saying everybody's bad or anything like that, but you do get smooth life. You told me that. Yeah, the average man are unappreciated in the U.S. But I'm not saying everybody's bad. I'm not saying everybody in the U.S. is bad. But most of the time, you are ignored. Yeah, we do get treated like trash. I never been hypocritical about that. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that everybody's like that. Everybody's not, because I do have female friends here in the States that we are very close and very good friends. But it's a different way how they treat you in foreign countries than the way how they treat you here. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, you treat like a king in Colombia, either, but the people are 100 times friendly, and the women are 100 times more. Yeah, they're very approachable. Absolutely, absolutely, they're very approachable. I was at the mall. I go to the mall all the time. Just beautiful chicas everywhere. They walk up to me and say, "Oh, how you doing?" You know, they very friendly, very very friendly. You can practically sit on the stairs outside the mall, strike up a conversation, and probably have a date that night. I'm not saying they're easy or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But they're much more approachable. Cookie called me every day. Every day. How are you? How was your day? Are you feeling okay? Did you eat today? How was work? She does that every single day. No, I'm getting ignored does not feel good. She calls me every single day. And guess what? Guess what? Now I'm telling you the truth. I'm not lying to you. I don't lie to you. I'm not hypocritical. She does not ask for money at all. She does not ask me for one dime. Not one dime. I was depressed, man. Like I said, feeling like a king one minute and feeling like a pumpkin the next. The Cinderella pumpkin. That's how I felt. That's how I felt. The Cinderella pumpkin. Catcher, what's up? What's up, brother? I'm doing a shout out. Make sure you subscribe to my channel when we give you a shout out, okay? Let's make a deal. Subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and I give you a shout out to your son, Dixon Mays. Happy birthday! Happy birthday to Mr. Dixon Mays. What's up, Dixon Mays? Happy birthday. May he have many more, and may he be blessed. Okay? And may he be blessed and highly favored by God. Okay? All right. Yeah, smooth life. Yeah. Yeah. I felt I was tears was coming down my eyes, brother. Because like you said, you basically ignore it here. Yep, sexually ignore in the States. They get you the most. Yeah. It's the vibe here is horrible. It's horrible. You go to the stores, you go to the malls, and you try to interact with females here, they just pass you up, don't give you no attention, man. I met two girls at the store the other day. This is about a month ago. Real nice to them. I was real nice to them. They was real nice to me. We talked. And they were so nice to me until I felt like, I was like, wow, I haven't seen this in a very long time. I gave them compliments. There was a Caucasian girl, a white girl, and a black girl was together. And they were beautiful. Nice, sweet, very, kind of approachable. I said, you know what, just for you two being nice to me, I'm going to pay for both of your items. They had like two Smirnoff, nothing real expensive, just something they got out of the freezer. I said, here, I'll take care of this. They said, oh, thank you very much. So I said, let me get y'all Instagram. I said, sure. They gave me their Instagram, both of them. I said, maybe we all can hang out sometimes. Maybe go out, get some lunch or something. They was down for it. A few days later, I contacted them on Instagram, direct message on Instagram. Totally ignored me. Hi, how you doing? Mr. Moran, how you doing, brother? It is so good to see you again. Hi, man. It's good to see you. Yeah, they completely ignore me. That's what they do here now. It's like you don't have like you don't matter in a way. I'm not saying they treat you bad. I'm not saying they treat you bad, but it's like they don't you don't matter anymore. Man, if I could go to Medellin tonight, I would go, man. If I could head back to Medellin tonight to see Cookie, I would go tonight. Yep. I really miss my friend. I just talked to her today. I just talked to her today. And she asked me when I'm coming back. I was like, God. He said, when you're coming back? When are you coming back? I said, maybe Christmas, hopefully, but I don't know. Eric, if I had the ability right now, I would get my passport, pack my bags, and I would be out this door right now. But I'm gonna tell you something. If that war happens down in Venezuela, it will be over. That's the part that really scares me. Knowing that I will not be able to see her again. My friend. Yeah, that's true. You're right. But you know what though? My girl, okay, check this out. You're right, Smooth Life. You're right, Smooth Life. But my girls in Medellin, my girls in Colombia, that don't happen. When they give me their WhatsApp or Instagram, when I send a message out to them, I get a message back all the time. It only happens here when you send a message and you don't get a message back. Yeah, it's like you don't even exist. Let me see. Hassan said, what was slavery like? Man, to answer that question, Hassan, go to Google and type in that same question. They give you all the answers on the Google. Man, there's so many trolls on this live tonight. Lots of trolls. Yeah, but the scariest thing right now that we're dealing with right now is hopefully they don't attack Venezuela, the U.S. forces. I hope they don't. I pray that they don't. Yeah. You could do that. Yeah, I could fly her out of a different country. I already thought about that, Chris. Yeah, there's other alternatives, but it would be a lot of steps, though, man. Because most of them never left it. You know what? You'd be surprised how many of them have never left their country. You'd be surprised how many of them never been on a plane. A lot of them never been on a plane. You can do that, but it would be a lot of steps.
No question I think we need to ask with all of these is primarily what is the attainable military objective this is supposed to accomplish, and what is the political objective that you want these military actions to prevent or produce for the United States. And in that, what's being said is, well, of course, to reduce fentanyl and produce drugs come into the United States. And that is a great goal, one which I'm highly supportive of. But the question is this going to actually impact that operation there? And I think that the evidence, when you look at it, is it will have almost no impact. We don't even know if any of those boats were actually coming to the United States at all. The boats themselves didn't have the capacity to reach the U.S. and we're told, well, it will be onward movement elsewhere that may have come in. But when you look at the...
Yeah, a lot of them never been outside their country. There are some that have never been outside of Medellin. Yeah, they don't have passports. If this happened, I would just have to find another place to go. And I probably would end up going to Brazil. It's the next step to Colombia. I would just have to take more. I don't know how would I do that with my job, you know what I'm saying? Because when I go to Colombia, it's very close. It's like maybe like a 12-hour flight. And I could get back in time to go, you know, if I have to go to work, I just jump. You know, the next day I can go right to work. It's happened before. But Brazil, that's a long ways. Thailand is a long ways. Yeah, it's over 10 hours. Yes, it usually takes me about 10 hours to get there. Because I'm coming from the north, far north, Michigan. Yeah, on the romance tour, yeah. But Marcus, before you sign up for any romance tour, you need to go down and test the waters first. Yeah, going to Brazil, time-wise, is equivalent in the time to going to Dubai and many places in Africa, since you'd like to have to fly to the south coast where Sao Paulo and Rio are. Yeah. But you know what? If I go to, see, one thing too, if I go to Brazil, I would have to start all over from scratch. I would have to find the right place for me. I would have to learn Portuguese. I would have to, it will be a learning curve. Let me see. Chris said, I took one of my Colombian friends to the Amazon in Leticia, Colombia, about 4 years. And she said that it was one of the best places that she had ever been in her life. Yeah, some of them haven't been in certain places in their own country. But you know what else is a very good paradise to take your Colombian girlfriend? San Andreas. San Andreas. Beautiful. Paradise, San Andreas. Very romantic spot. San Andreas would definitely be a good place to take your girlfriend. He said, no, the romance tour only. No one got the mental capacity of being in paranoia for 24/7. Well, if you're going to go to a romance tour, you better make sure you have a lot of money. Make sure you have a lot of money. Marcus, if you go on a romance tour, make sure you have lots of money. At least have, if you're going to go on a romance tour, make sure you have at least $7,000 at the most. $6,000 or $7,000. Because you're going to be spending some money, bro. It all depends on what. If you go to the one that I went to, you'll be spending lots of money. Because, like I told you, on the romance tour, once they get the group of women that you're going to be exposed to and dating, you can have 5 dates in one day. And you're taking 5 different women to 5 different restaurants and using 5 different cabs. You have to pay the cab fare, you got to pay your translator, and you have to pay dinner for every last one of those females. So one day you can spend $300 or $400 very easily on a romance tour. Just warning you. Takenya, what's up? What's up? What a Dundee watching. What's up? What's up? Let me see how many people on here. There's 15 people. Okay, we got 13 likes. Thank you guys. Keep liking for me. And subscribe. The romance tour is $5,000 you need to commit to a fiance visa. Otherwise, you will have wasted your money, and they will tell the women that you choose to ignore you from. Yeah, absolutely, Chris. Tell them, Chris. Tell them. I've been trying to tell Marcus, but Marcus don't listen to me. Marcus, you don't have to go to no romance tour. Just go down there, bro. Just get your passport out and just fly down to Colombia. You don't need no romance tour. There are so many women at the mall. Just go to the malls. And just, you say you know Spanish, and just do a conversation. Basic conversation. ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien. That's all you have to do. Soy de Estados Unidos. Mucho gusto. Just basic Spanish. People expose themselves more online than they do in person. I only care about the truth, not about the truth, about the money. Yep, you have to go down there. You got to go down. You got to get your boots on, get and just go. And just go with the flow. Romance tours, romance tours, I'm going to say this again for the 1015 trillionth time. Romance tours are like mail order brides. That's what they are. Mail order brides. Romance tours are for business-minded men who have one objective, is to go down to Colombia and go on those tours to find a wife at the end of the tour. They have maybe 25 women to choose from, and they narrow it down to one person. And once you got that one person, you apply for a fiance visa. And you bring her back to the States. And then within 90 days, like the show 90-Day Fiance, you have to marry her. And she becomes your Colombian wife. That's what romance tours are for. Not to date casually like we do. Most of us, they go down there multiple times. No. Because you spend thousands of dollars on romance tours. I think the average romance tour for 7 days is $6,000 or $7,000 US dollars. And it's not including the spending money. Everybody down there, Marcus, I've been to Colombia multiple times. Everybody down there is not about the game. Everybody's down there. I'm telling you from experience. Everybody down there, if you know how to move the right way, down there, you will be successful. If you're going down there for working girls, you're going to Parker Jerry's, you're going to all these different the clock tower to meet girls for that way, then yes, you will get played. Right, absolutely. You're right, Eric, because you never get the chance to know the person. And I have heard stories. I have heard stories, okay, of guys bringing their wives back to the States and they get homesick. They want to go back. So you spend all this money investing into this woman. You spend all this money investing into the romance tour. And then she decides that she wants to go back home. They get homesick. They do. Because they're one thing about them down there, they're very, very, very connected to their families. Family to them is everything. And it doesn't don't ever come between them and their family because guess what? You will lose every single time. They're first. Their kids is first. Their mom is first. Their cousins, everybody else is first before you. Yeah, he said also those women on the romance will know that they're getting a rich man, meaning they could be gold diggers. Yeah, some of them are gold diggers. I met some. The ladies know that the romance tour is going to be the best behavior. Absolutely. Colombian will take your house and car while she's been secretly talking to a Colombian dude. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And I heard so many stories, man. I heard stories of guys, they go down there, they fall in love with these women, and they buy real estate with these women, and they take everything. There was a guy, I just watched the video. He lost $40,000. And the woman that he supposedly with talked him into doing it. And guess what? She disappeared. Disappeared. They went to bed together. She was lying on his chest. And she drugged him. And he woke up 2 days later. Found out everything was gone. Yeah, the romance tour does not show. The romance tour does not show their family or ladies that they can cook or even dance salsa. Other small nuances that might trip. That's true. You're right, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be a little honest with you. Um, I did meet one good one at that romance tour. I did, and I have known people, very few, very few, very few, that have met a female from the romance tour, and they did very well together. But that's like gambling. It's like you're throwing dice. It's like you're throwing dice. I think the best experience, Marcus, is to go down there and get your feet wet. Get your feet wet first before you talking about spending thousands of dollars for a romance tour. They are very expensive, man. I'm talking about just the romance tour itself. It's like six. If you go on a 7, they got different packages you could buy. If you're talking about a 7-day or a 10-day or 15-day romance tour, it's easily $6, $7, $8,000. And then you got to spend money on the girls too. That's not including spending money. That's not including your translator. That she's gonna be with you 24/7 translating the language for you, unless you don't need a translator. But she's like your coordinator. She's the one that arranged the dates, talk to the girls, and let them know when the date is going to happen. They arrange the date, like you may have a 9 o'clock in the morning date for breakfast. Then your translator will tell you that you're going to have a 12 o'clock date for lunch. And then your translator will tell you you have a 3 o'clock lunch date that's coming by that you have to deal with. And then you may have a 6 o'clock date. And then you may have a 9 o'clock at night date. So you have about maybe, oh my God, maybe 6 or 7 dates in one day. In one day. And some of these girls, they like to go to the best restaurant. When I was in Barranquilla, they went to the finest restaurants in Barranquilla. We're not talking about Taco Bell. Um, we're not talking about Baskin Robbins or anything like that. They want to go to nice restaurants that the bill you can get back could be over $100 easily. And then not only do you have to feed your translator, but you got to feed the girl. Not only that you have to feed the girl, but you have to feed the translator too. Speaking of drugging, I heard that you could take something. Yeah, I heard that too. But the thing is, you don't want to get drugged, period. You don't want to get drugged, period. But that stuff works very fast. It works very fast. I don't think the charcoal would help for clonazepam, Joseph. As soon as that stuff hits your tongue or gets in the mucous membrane, it absorbs quickly into the bloodstream. $7,000 for my trip doesn't guarantee that she even get hurt. But yeah, that's true. That's true. Absolutely. And most of the time, you don't get her in the bed. You don't. Nope, you don't. I met one at the romance store. She was a supermodel. Gorgeous. Drop dead gorgeous. Never forget her as long as I live. And we sit there, we talk for a while. I'm going to be honest with you. Well, I got to be careful what I say. I told you I was going to talk about my personal experience on YouTube anymore, but she was great. She was fabulous as far as appearance. And then I asked her, I said, if you become my wife, and I bring you back to the States to stay with me, to be my wife, what are your goals when you come here? And guess what she said? She said that she wants to be a model. I was like, oh, man. So you want to come to the States because you want to be a model? She said, yes. I said, what do you think about children? Do you want to have children? Do you cook? Do you, what can I get out of this as your husband? What would you provide for me? She said, my first priority would be to join a modeling agency. So I guarantee you, if I would have brought her back here, she would have been gone probably within 6 months. Yeah, she had a temper too. Yes, she did, Marcus. She had a bad temper. Yeah, I'm not saying that you don't. I'm just saying, you know, let's see how many people. Well, it's only 7 people here. Okay. Well, guys, I'm going to get off this live stream. Hey, it was good talking to you guys, man. It was awesome. But the main thing I talked about, I just hope that I just hope that war doesn't happen in the Caribbean. And I will keep you guys posted of what's going on down there. Yeah, they expose themselves. Absolutely, Marcus. Yeah, they expose themselves. Yeah, they expose themselves. But all right, guys. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel, and thank you all. Love you all. David, if you're still on here, thank you, sir, for your. It was nice doing the consultation with you, and thank you for support of the channel. And guys, if you ever want a consultation, my consultations are very cheap. I only charge $20 an hour. You can't beat that because most content creators, the big challenge charge like over $100. I know one content creator charged like $300. I only charge $20. And believe me, it will be the best consultation one-on-one with me you ever had. Something else I want to show y'all too.